Well, swap into the in-game screen, loading into Ilios, Zombie Up, and Janak. I'll leave it to you two.
Alright, so SG-1 won the coin flip and allowed to choose the first map. We only have 3 King of the Hill maps. There's not too much variety, but they have a little bit of, you know, an option. Let's see, I mean, do you think we should be able to watch them choose characters? Otherwise, just watching a blank room.
I'm sure that'll probably be something running after beta.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things where you're programming the game, you're getting the game ready, and you're like, I'll just save it for later. We want to play some Overwatch. We actually want to be able to get on this action, but they have introduced since last time. It's the same GUI, but looks like, I don't know if it's different.
No, we were surprised last second. It hasn't changed.
So I fixed my crosshairs on NA, but not EU, so I'll have to do that between games.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, amazing. Okay, well, we do have, I think, what is usual for control points when the team picks. I mean, you have 2 McCrees for both sides. It makes a lot of sense. You have a Zenyatta for both sides and a Lucio for both sides. The difference being that we have, let's see here, 2 supports for SG-1, but not for 425.
Yeah, a very similar composition, and the double McCree has kind of arisen in the past couple of weeks because trying to kill Tracer, get more flashbangs. But here, in our first battle, Winston just jumped straight into each other. But looks like the Winston for the red team is taken out pretty early in that main level on SG-1 to take this point early on.
You know what I love? There is a team member with the clan tag SG-1 on his name. That is beautiful. That is so helpful. Thank you. I believe it's
Mafu. SG-1 Mafu. I feel like he's got to be in a jungle somewhere if he's called Mafu.
Yeah, well, he's 8th. I guess it makes sense, right?
Yeah, pretty close. We got some names. But for now, we have, what is this, SG-1 again holding at this forward little choke point. And what? 425 tries to rush in, but they just lose Winston right off the bat and fall back.
Yeah. So you notice, like, we're having around this little pit, of course. That's usually the center of attention when it comes to this specific map, with a level on this map. But if they can go past that, then no one really has to worry about it. And it's actually just about 425 getting through the choke point, even trying to abuse it, which, I mean, it's actually not killed anyone yet.
Yeah, it hasn't. And then you get that big hole right there. And I was playing some Overwatch earlier on today, and I saw Lucio just fall down. And it was terrible. But there we go, Lucio right there. Zarya ult 2 to bring the red team down, to hold them down. But I'm not sure this is going to be coming. Yes, Winston for the red team. And his 425 gets right behind them. And can he get a kill? No! 3 times in a row, he's been killed off early on, jumping in.
Yeah, we saw Zenyatta actually try and get something done with his ult, but unfortunately it was just him ulting, feeling invincible, and he is invincible, but his team unfortunately did not find any benefit from it. And Winston did go down, as you saw, so red team is back all up, but it really just feels like SG-1 is like dominating, man. Like, they are not letting the other team pass this point, but we do have Winston going bananas and his Zenyatta ult, both Winston's going bananas now.
They are in primal rage, trying to kill each other, but after they hit each other, they just kind of fall back. We have one Zarya for 425 holding that point, but a really funny thing happened during the fight. Zarya uses her ult, which, if you guys don't know, it brings people in, and Winston almost fell down the pit, but then he was brought out of the pit by the ult and actually caught to the ground by it.
That's pretty funny. Well, once again, we have SG-1 controlling the points. I mean, it's gonna go to 100, I feel, and there's nothing we can do about it. We have no emergency.
98! Lucio's gotta do something. Lucio runs straight into that. Can't do anything. Winston for SG-1 tries to pin him to the ground, but he runs in, delays at that choke point a little while, allows another Winston to get in, allows a Zarya, but all of them die when running into the Zarya ult being thrown together.
Yeah, and that was domination from SG-1. That was a shutout.
And I don't think that's what's really expected, but at least rank-wise with these players have been playing, but Overwatch is so volatile.
There's one moment I want to bring up too. I actually went over to the camera for it. Mercy looked like she had gone like AFK in the corner. She's sickly waiting for a res though, just waiting for teammates to get picked off one at a time. That's how she got that monster res.
That is fantastic. And yeah, guys, if you haven't watched Overwatch in a while, we have that new GUI in the top, and there is a percent up there which says what their ultimate count is, which is very important for anyone who hasn't been playing Overwatch. Ultimates, it's kind of a game of ultimate countering, even though there is shooting, etc.
Yeah. It's pretty important, especially if you're going to try and break, you know, such a solidified position as SG-1 had last time. 425 would usually want to wait for all of their ults. But Mercy just going to town on the heals here. It looks like it actually is not going as well for for SG-1. They have 2 people down, and 425 only has 1. Only their tank went down here.
Yeah, Fraggy and Himsy right off the bat. That's the McCree and the Zarya. Kind of ran to that point, but there's the res from the Mercy. Great on Mercy this early getting her ult. That is phenomenal somehow.
Yeah. But then she gets stunned by that McCree. Nice pick off, and then of course he dies. So I mean, still getting that Mercy down is pretty important. But we still have Lucio's providing that healing as well as speed boost if he finds it appropriate.
SG-1 now takes the point right off the bat again, like they did last game. And Zombie Grub, I don't even think last game 425 ever had the point in their control.
No, they did not. I mean, they kind of like, they might have tapped it when it was still on the countdown, but that was it. And I really am wondering about maybe the trick here is, especially that Mercy constantly rezzing is going to do a lot for teams SG-1, whereas, you know, 425, they went for the Zenyatta choice instead.
Here we go, Zenyatta with his ult pushes 425 right onto the point. There they take it. There's their first point onto the board, and they're doing exactly what SG-1 does. Once you take the point, you get up to that choke point and you stop the enemy team before they even get into your territory.
Yeah. Okay, so now we do have an more even-looking game, and they are, you know, they're quite abusing any choke. There is that one that you see McCree going to, but the second McCree rather, as they still are all rolling double McCrees. He's just a great close-range fighter, and mid-range too. Like he's actually pretty good up front. There's a Deadeye coming from him too.
That's what's beautiful about McCree's. They pretty much cover every range, and right now it looks like SG-1 just runs straight in there, and funnily enough, 425 just kind of wasn't on the point. They weren't lacking a character. They were holding back, and then SG-1's going to try to seize it, and looks like they'll be able to seize it again. Great Mercy support from, I believe it is Hawks on SG-1.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have to discredit anyone else in this game. Obviously, the McCrees are getting some good kills. You know, the Winstons are going bananas every once in a while. But I feel like the game is a lot about the support. And Mercy doing a great job with her reses. Zenyatta did have his one ult that got him the point before. But he's, of course, without an ult right now. And can't just... I mean, he's just so, like... He doesn't have an escape. He dies very easily if he's accidentally caught off guard. I just wonder if that's something they could change. But we already have... Okay, yeah. We actually... So, continuing my point, I thought that maybe a red team could do something. They did not.
SG-1, the blue team, just wiped the red team. 425 took out 4 of them early on, and I'm not going to completely contribute it to Winston, but each time we do see Winston as that important starter of the fights, he jumps in and generally want him alive. Once again, you see he just jumps straight in, but he dies early so frequently that the red team, 425, loses their tank, loses their forward harass. The tag.
We have a high noon coming down from the red team, but we have once again the Winstons going bananas. And it looks like, I mean, the point's still rising here for SG-1. Oh, wait a minute, 425. They do knock them off the point at the very least, but there is that Mercy res once again.
Looks like the Winston of SG-1 is back, and it's harassing the enemy red team Winston, trying to get him off the point, but SG-1 is just not getting straight onto the point there. They're kind of poking in, but Lucio, Zarya, and McCree putting on so much DPS to turn them anytime they enter in, and now the fight's brought a little bit farther outside that point, but that was a great job by 425 to re-seize it. SG-1 loses their Winston, their final forward player, and looks like this is going to be a much more even game than game 1.
Yeah, much more even. What was interesting about that fight was that it was actually like, it wasn't really decided, but it was all happening outside of the point. So it's just the mere fact that 425, they'd already taken control of it. They're getting not quite free percentage, but they did end up taking the team fight in the end. So now their percentage is really rising. But Winston coming in though, McCree from 425 tries to get a couple of kills, does get the other McCree.
Oh, and there's the Zarya ult from SG-1 on both sides, trying to push them down, but there's no DPS to kill anyone. And SG-1 kind of runs in, loses 5 out of 6 players. Look at the top left, only McCree was alive.
Damn. Yeah, that was, I mean, the Zarya ult, like, it got so many players, but there's no one else. There's no pulse bomb, there is no, like, Pharah raining down from above. There's nothing to actually get them all, and, well, it looks like maybe this is going to go to 1-1 on this first map.
We may see just a couple seconds away. Looks like SG-1 desperately rushes on it with Lucio's ult. Winston jumps on in, but then we actually have a jump from Winston on 425, which knocks some of them off the position, and 425 is gonna pretty securely take this game 1, but it's been even. Much more even than game 1. Pardon me.
Yeah. I guess what was really tricky about that last map with the big crater was the choke that they found themselves consistently going through and not being able to do anything with. With that map, they found a couple more options to actually get through.
So, I was want to actually talk about the Zenyatta pick, by the way, before we get this one started. Zenyatta is such a good counter, and like the only way to deal with things like Zarya / like Hanzo combos. I'm really surprised we saw that, mostly because there was nothing that showed you needed a Zenyatta.
Yeah, I didn't like that choice. I mean, occasionally his ult would come down and he would, like, that will save you in case you do get Graviton by, you know, Zarya, that you just do out heal whatever they're doing to you. But it came so infrequently, it felt like a lot less useful than Mercy's ult, for instance. And we do have them changing away from that Zenyatta. Yeah, the Zenyatta.
Right now, supports are a little bit volatile. Recently, there was a nerf to Symmetra, and because of that, it was kind of, okay, where do we go with this? She was our standard person, and we've even seen that affect Tracer. Tracer's not as strong, which has put Double McCree into a much more powerful position in these games. And that's why we've seen it so much more. But SG-1 right off the bat, once again, just shoves them forward, but we could see more even game yet. I know there's some weird things about this map, Zombie Grub.
I actually hate this map.
Yeah,
the king of
that's
the
what Zombie Grub. What do you hate? What angers you? What ekes you?
There's I feel like there's not a very clear point. It's like in the middle, especially. Like if you can actually push them back as SG-1 did, then you can find it like the obvious 2 chokes or the obvious one that's actually like, right there, right? But if you do have these like melee fights going down in the middle of the pits, I hate like the high ground, low ground thing, and I don't like it. But you know, SG-1, they did push back 425, but 425 is coming back in here. We do have Mercy with her ult trying to save everything, but then Graviton from the Zarya of SG-1 didn't have the DPS to back it up.
For a moment, I thought I heard a rip tire from Junkrat right there, and I was like, no way, Zarya's ult into an explosion, but not quite going to happen. 425 pushes SG-1 off of it, but not quite going to take it. So a few seconds afterwards, McCree securely takes it in. Hey, at least we're seeing a much more even game from the first one. I wonder if the first one, our first game in this series, where SG-1 just destroyed 425, was a game where they kind of like testing the waters. How good are you? How good do we need to be?
It's true, it might be that, but I do actually recall of our show match last time that also had a very similar game between United and Flat Earth. Like one team just dominated after they got to that choke. But we have once again teams going at it here. McCree from the top is trying to get a couple of good snipes. We have the ult from Zarya bringing together the entirety of it.
The corpses.
McCree, man. McCree doing a phenomenal job right there, fanning the hammer all the way.
See, that's what you really need. When Zarya does that ult and brings everyone together, you need that DPS, whether it's, you know, the AoE of a couple of the different heroes, but in this case, fan the hammer, not technically an AoE, but just huge burst damage if you're close enough. And if everyone is of course clumped up like that.
Yeah. There's also flashbangs from McCree with double McCree. There is so many flashbangs available to stun an opponent. And ooh, actually we have a McCree Deadeye. Does he pick a kill? I think he was able to pick up someone right there. McCree getting 3 in a row.
Yeah, not so bad. We have another Mercy ult. Once again, it seems like it's been pretty important. Like keeping everyone on the points has been so important. Not having, you know, 1 or 2 members actually even run back from the spawn location. And 425, you know, they were looking really bad this first game of the day, but they are actually pushing SG-1 all the way back to their spawn.
Oh, and you really, on this map, you have 3 kind of circular areas, 3 arena-like areas, 1 in the middle and then 1 on each side. And if 425 can push SG-1 into their side's arena-like area, you have a health pack in the middle. It's very easy to push forward, gain some health, and keep shoving your opponent back. We'll see SG-1 has one last desperate attempt to get this control point. 96, 97, we have a Deadeye from 425 from McCree. Can he snipe anyone off? Looks like he was unable to, but this is it for SG-1 if they can't take the point.
They do have a couple of ults, a McCree ult, now a Zarya ult, but their Mercy, was she able to use her ult? I'm not sure she went down so quickly. The ult of Winston, though, on the defending team here is going to knock one back. No, he gets taken out, and it looks like SG-1's not to give up too easily.
Yeah, they take it back, but they have a long road ahead of them, though.
They took that back, though, and still have 5 ults ready to go, so defense is certainly a possibility here.
Oh, man, I really thought that, like, you know, the 2 that at least started off, they're going to use their ult. It looks like Mercy did, but, you know, McCree didn't have to. Zarya got it as the attack happened. She didn't have to. Like, that's going to be a really awesome defense. Absolutely correct. But
yeah, no, it's going to be a phenomenal defense right here. Lucio using his sound barrier.
Oh, my God.
Entire team of SG-1.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Reaper.
that's the Reaper.
Oh, and there's the ult. Is there a Zarya ult to push them back down? No.
No! Oh my god, was that Lucio? Did he just push 2 people off?
He did. He did.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that is so good from Lucio. That is a free 2 kills after that res. Oh my god.
Pushing them off into the kind Mediterranean Sea right there. I believe this is in Greece. I was looking up about it.
Yeah, it's Greece.
Alternate of Troy. Ilios is a different name for Troy, but
Oh my god, that is amazing. I mean, it was very unfortunate for 425, you know, because they were brought together, they all died, they res, but they still res all together. So, you don't want to be that clumped up no matter what.
there's a Zarya ult.
Zarya ult doesn't get as many kills.
Ah.
Still kind of wrecks SG-1.
99% and 99%. The rest of this game is going to be in overtime, which is one of the coolest things with Overwatch. But can anyone dive there quick enough? Looks like we have one McCree at the head.
So Gunrox did the most important play of the game just now. He was set up to do a Deadeye on the ult, but passed through to get on the point so the game didn't end.
Well, that was actually a very fun series. I was quite worried in the first one, but that's just, it's, you know, again, if you aren't familiar with the way that Overwatch, specifically King of the Hill Overwatch control points work, oh my god. Wait, that was the, I thought that would have been the Reaper. That was McCree getting the credit for all of that.
Man. And when you have double McCree, what we've talked about, and when you can just do double flashbang, you kill everything. Flashbang is such a good ability. You just stun your opponent. In what game, or in any game, it's great if your opponent just doesn't do anything for a few seconds. Yes.
So it's 425 that won that, yeah.
And
We're just making sure after that last time we had these problems.
I don't remember. Zombie Grump? My mind's just blanking right here.
Yes, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure they got the last.
Okay. I thought it was 2. I'm just confirming so we don't get
It was close.
So does it swap teams? Is that what it just
So-
did again?
You guys need to swap.
Yes, red team is now SG-1. Oh, I gotta switch my own card. Dang it, man.
So
So
a lot of really cool that plays that game, but what I liked was what you guys brought up early on, where that first game looked really one-sided, and you're like, is this even going to be a close series? But I went to the ace match. It was pretty damn close at 99 to 99. Like, this is what I really like about King of the Hill. For me, at least, a lot more exciting than Payload for reasons like what we just saw.
definitely. And I wonder if that kind of has to do with the maps too, because even though we're on Ilios, of course, anyone new tuning in, Ilios is a kind of more of a map series than a map itself. It's got some nice same texture palettes, but it's got a couple different maps on it. So I wonder if we'd go back to that first map on Ilios in another game, if we kind of see the same thing, a very one-sided play. It's just very easy to hold and never give up.
Well, we're going into Nepal, so it's loser's pick after a coin flip decides who chooses first. So it's best of threes inside of a best of 3, and the finals of this tournament will be a best of 5. So there will be repeat maps when that occurs. Again, I'm really looking forward to when Overwatch goes live and we have more choices. I mean, obviously, if you're not familiar with the Overwatch scene, Payload is usually the way to go. You actually had a lot of people quite disappointed with the way that the developers did not like the time-based tournaments. Like, they actually said they don't really appreciate it that much. Like, and that's why we did this, because we also didn't find Stopwatch very fun. But now there's a King of the Hill as the ace match if it goes there.
Yeah.
But Payload's usually the way to go. We just did this because it got to be really fun, and so far it has been really fun, like regardless of any imbalances. But I do wish there were more maps. There's more variety.
Yeah, it would be fun, but as you said, remember we're in beta, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more maps to come. That's going to be fun, but here we are on Nepal for the second map, and I like this one. I'm not sure which one we're loading onto quite yet, but you're on a mountain this time. You still can get thrown off. There's still all of that love, but there's some cool nuances to this map. And it looks like the entire red team SG-1 is on the right-hand side to start it off, taking a route to victory.
Anik on Winston coming forward first. Well, both Winstons coming forward first. And they're just going to fight it off to the right side. Of course, the control point isn't unlocked yet. They're going to try to get some free kills here. They do get the... both Winstons actually go down here. I guess doing their job as the tanks. But definitely SG-1 taking more deaths. And 425, they just need to actually get to the point once it unlocks. Get it controlled.
Definitely with SG-1, our blue team right here. 425 falls back to the point, but it was a very efficient use of time. They both came out on the right-hand side. It's a direct shot. You don't have to go around buildings or anything. And that was really a professional play from both teams right there. And 425, pardon me, SG-1 just got the short end of the stick.
Well, we have Looks like once again 425 taking. Oh no, wait a minute, they actually do both wipe each other out, but then the Mercy ult for SG-1 proves to be very, very good. And they actually do take that point control back.
Nice job from them. Note we still have double McCree. Lucio's on only, interesting enough, SG-1 side. Or pardon me, Mercy only on SG-1 side. So don't have any Mercy for 425 right now. They're not going to have as key revives as SG-1 has had in a lot of these games, which literally
I
just
like
means
this.
bring everybody
back to regroup.
Yeah.
Very good point.
I do agree on the Zenyatta, you know, we talked about that before. It did do the bad, obviously, they're up one, but oh, that high noon from the McCree here does get two of them. Counter McCree, of course. There's just McCrees everywhere. Was down as well.
And going back to what Rifkin was talking about for a moment, you kind of have two different ideas about this. Either you hold on a choke point, or you fall back and have this very reactionary style where, you know, one opponent comes in and you're in a big arc and you kind of close in that opponent, kill him, and then fall back out to be fallen back onto your position and regroup. So much more reactionary play from SG-1 right here, and it's very safe. You know what, we don't feel super confident, but hey, we think we can win it. Let's play safe.
They have a lot of ults available. In fact, they have almost all of their ults available, but so does 425. This will be a very deadly contention on the points. We have the ults going down, in fact. We have Mercy trying to get sniped by the Winston, actually, but she does survive.
Zenyatta, oh, the entire 425 team right there. 6 of them were dead. Not sure what happened, but they all just got decimated. SG-1 looking again good on the first map, or pardon me, the first, what do we want to call it? First map within the map? First round. Thank you, first round. First town in the city.
Of the second map. I mean, this is it is kind of similar to what happened in that last best of 3, except that this time Quickmove actually got at least some points on the board. And they're going for it once again. We have the Zarya ult pulling everyone together.
So follow-up, there's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's always key is you gotta look for that follow-up, and unfortunately it's a little bit of miscommunication, as well as just, well, wrong place, wrong time.
In that final fight too, we saw SG-1 use Lucio's ult Sound Barrier. If you guys don't know what that is, just extra health to everybody. You know, everybody get in here with some health, and their opponent 425 didn't, so it's kind of the same composition. Just one team had more health, and it's hard to beat that.
We do have SG-1 mixing things up a little bit without going double Lucio. So obviously the key benefits of going double Lucio, besides, you know, having all that healing, is also you can have 1 speed, 1 health. And while speed is obviously like the benefit of actually getting there first, like we see here,
Knockbacks on this map, though, cannot be like undervalued.
It's actually also very helpful for the actual engagements. But the knockbacks, because there is an open pit, not exactly the one on Ilios, but still the same.
I'd almost say this one's even more dangerous. It is a lot bigger, but right now we have a big team fight happening, and it looks like 425 Zarya gets really deep into blue. That is SG-1's territory and is destroyed. 4 players on 425 were wiped, and they just keep pushing, and they have kind of 1 player forward. That player gets killed, and then it's 5 to 6, and it just snowballs from there every time for 425.
Yeah. Those spots being pretty abusive, getting into that choke, getting into the doorway. SG-1 trying to get an edge up here, but they're not doing a terrible job controlling it. So unless 425 is doing a terrible job trying to bust through it.
Ooh, there's the Lucio ult from SG-1, another really good one. They're going to be able to keep 425 back at the choke point, and wow, push them very far back, even onto the landing pad for their plane. Wow.
Yeah, they weren't doing a terrible job, and then they actually tried to go through, and everyone died. So this is actually pretty bad for 425. They need to find a way to get through here. Looks like their Craftware was a decisive what we want to go with. He does have Zenyatta's ult ready, though. Might be looking using a pop that to get through. No, actually, the Zarya ult, there is Zenyatta's ult to try and save them, and it saves a couple of them, a couple of also go down.
Beautiful rainbow of ults goes off. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough right there. Just a note, look at SG-1, double Lucio, double McCree, then a Zarya for some extra support, and then a Winston.
I'm ready to unleash my primal
And then you have that one Winston for tank. So I really like this composition out of SG-1 at the moment.
Now, unfortunately, I mean, SG-1 hasn't really ever gotten to use those Lucio pushbacks we're talking about, because the point is, you know, it was tapped once, basically, and then it was just disregarded. Oh, ult's going on everywhere. Reaper ult, Zarya ult, Lucio ult. We have the last minute's Winston ult, but after everyone's basically already dead.
Yeah, there's only the one Winston because he's the only one defending 85%. And the blue team, SG-1's Winston, is thrown off the edge. He's literally shot so far, he hits the side of the wall and just falls down into the pit. But he delayed for, what was that, an extra 8%? That is phenomenal.
Yeah. That is a good point. He delayed a little bit farther. And, you know, honestly, it looks like 425 didn't really have a follow-up, and now they're kind of point.
Ooh.
Yeah. It took him a little while. Like, it took him another wave of reses here, but they do finally control the point, control it really powerfully. They're going to abuse the same position that SG-1 just did.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but SG-1 won last game right. Correct? They won the first round, so they're currently up. Oh yeah, you can see in the top left or top middle of your screen. Stupid Jenna. You have 1-0 right now for SG-1, so they are up in the lead.
They are. So at 99%, they are looking pretty good to take the second game. And in fact, they're not doing such a terrible job pushing through. They already lost 2 of their members. Zarya ult goes down on the rest of them.
Ooh.
And it looks like they will not be regaining that control point back.
Mafu goes down. That's SG-1's Winston. That's really key right here because I think in pretty much every game, not only is he called SG-1, so it's great, but he's been fighting for the entire time, every game, buying so much time. Once he dies...
So, anytime you hear somebody screaming in the distance like that, folks, it's because somebody got knocked into that pit.
I was gonna say, the most amazing thing about Overwatch, hands down, is the the sound effects that they include. You can hear exactly which hero is which, so sound is very important to have, and you can just hear stupid things like that. Zarya goes down. He was trying to ult, which is pretty funny.
But that's Zenyatta finally shining through an amazing transcendence.
It's been like the only time Zenyatta's really shown is when he uses his ult to counter Zarya's pull together.
I mean, it definitely needs to be noted, for those who don't know how Transcendence works, anyone near Zenyatta basically cannot die for the duration of his ult.
They're not actually invincible like he is, but like basically.
Close to it. It's definitely close to it. SG-1 making a last-ditch effort push. Looks like, Zarya almost.
Yeah.
Oh, close, but she managed to get herself back onto that edge right there. Mercy comes in. Zarya's ult on 425, but is there DPS? The answer is no DPS to kill them, and they kill Zarya on 425. So SG-1 takes the point, and they're 1% away. Mercy uses her ult, brings back McCree, brings back Winston, and they are 1% away from victory. Both teams, but SG-1 won the first round. If they win this, they're up, or they're even, and at 1-1.
Oh, I thought that Tracer was going to go down to the McCree, but there's a reason we're seeing nothing but Tracers come out right now for 425. They know that they're in tough times. They need to get on the point at least to hopefully buy time for everyone else. But I mean, it's not that Tracer's particularly good here, just that she is the quickest character to get to the point and continue the overtime.
Well, with Rewind as well, you can just keep touching that point over and over and over.
Yep.
And I'm finally for a double Tracer just because it is double McCree. So many flashbang possibilities. The Tracers aren't going to be able to buy by themselves like they are. Even though they can get there quick, they're by themselves and they're opened up.
It's really about like the 2 or 3 or hell even 4 Tracers get time enough for like that one Winston or that one Reaper to get in there and maybe get like a really good ult off. But otherwise the Tracer isn't too good.
Did 425 take it? Oh wait, no, SG-1.
No, SG-1 just 2-0. So that ties up the series 1-1, however.
Winston looks beautiful. I gotta point that out right there.
He's so like
majestic.
Yeah. Majestic, actually, that is the proper term. Thank you, Rifkin. Majestic. Winston looks majestic right there.
This is a great high noon.
Oh man, 4-5. He kills 5 of them. No way.
Wow. I think we were paying. That was when Lucio fell off the edge.
Yeah, we had to explain the death throw.
Oh my. Just a note out there, guys, even if you don't like playing competitively, as Zombie Griff and Rifkin were mentioning sounds, I love that all the characters have this inner story going on. And in the beginning, they'll be like, I think Mercy says, "Oh, Reinhardt, I always had a poster of you. I like that." And Reinhardt's like, "Yeah, that was my poster." But there's just so many cool story aspects.
I like Reinhardt's Hasselhoff line, personally. You need to listen to the classics, like Hasselhoff.
Yeah. It's good, but there's a lot of depth to this game besides competitive play.
Yeah. I actually, speaking of sounds, just as a quick note, I love how. Oh, first of all, we gotta swap the teams again, I think, right?
We do.
I think you do.
Okay, well, while you guys get this started, I love that everyone has like a unique footstep. You can hear precisely who's near. Like, you don't need Widowmaker's ultimate to have wall hacks to tell, oh, there's a Soldier 76 running somewhere to my right versus a Winston clomping around somewhere to my left. Like, Even Widowmaker's up, like the high heels, the clicky clack, like it's so, there's so much attention to detail in this game. I love it. But Lijiang Tower is going to be the final map here in this best of 3. I love that our first series went to the ace match, by the way. That's a good start to the day. That you know you don't have a bunch of like one-sided matches.
Wow.
Yeah.
What beautiful players. The players got themselves onto the correct colors.
I know. They're already like better than like North American StarCraft 2 hits.
I know, right? And it's 6 of them, not even just 1. Really quick, before we hop into this game, guys, remind you about the Match Arena page for this. The prize pool for this tournament right now, as it stands, is $565, plus 6 Corsair headsets, plus a bunch of Overwatch hats, courtesy of Blizzard, for the players who come in like that first and second place area. So, if you haven't yet, go to the Match Arena page, use the code OnlyWatch. It'll contribute $1 to the prize pool. Y'all know how it works. But, entry game.
And just for everyone to get kind of a wider perspective on the OnlyWatch tournament at the moment, this is SG-1 versus 425 in the very first round. The winner of this series will move on to play Reunited. So that's currently what we're kind of dealing with.
We actually got to see a taste of Reunited last week and a half ago when we did our little show match with them. They lost the overall series, but that was another series that went to the ace match in a best of 5, no less.
I love that word, or I love that mannerism, the tastes of something. I feel like you should have the tastes of Overwatch as a tournament.
You know what I want to taste those noodles at this goddamn noodle cart and the dumplings. Ah, Lijiang Tower, please.
Please. I guess you could have an entire Overwatch food chain. Blizzard could get into that industry. Just be like, yeah, Overwatch, bro.
That's gonna be their April Fools next year. So you wait. They already did like the
Panda Express. Yeah.
I love the Hearthstone MMO.
Hold up.
Fools.
We got really interesting. We got the Zenyatta coming out again. I don't know about Zenyatta on this map though. What do you guys think?
All right. Well, okay. The rest of their composition, besides having Zenyatta, Double McCree, Lucio, Winston, Zarya, so pretty well rounded.
I actually don't mind it as much. I think there's a lot more poking opportunity because you do see a lot of engagements go down right here where they're each on each other's side. And Zenyatta actually is a great, like, kind of, he's like a support sniper.
Discord orb, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. So, and there's in the space, you know, all King of the Hill control maps have like enclosed spaces basically. But this is not the worst one for sure. There's definitely worse levels.
Yeah. That's something I was thinking myself, that Zenyatta does a really good job because the control point is inside a small room. So his ultimate can heal, it can cover the entire room. Same thing with a lot of other ultimates, Lucio's, etc. But really anything with some area of effect does wonders on control point maps like Lijiang Towers. Now we see, I think it's SG-1 right off the bat, taking control, holding them at that choke point. But on this map, there is a plethora of ways around that choke point. They don't gotta go straight through there, but hey, who am I to say that? They just go straight through the choke point. They don't care.
I was gonna say that this is where Zenyatta does not shine. We had Craftware actually change to a Lucio, so I think that makes a lot of sense. Once they are pushed back entirely to basically a choke that they're not getting out of, apparently, as once again SG-1 pushes them back, then you gotta change. Like, Zenyatta is not gonna do well unless he can hide behind something far away from people. He's just gonna go otherwise.
At the moment, SG-1 has 3 ults ready, Winston's, Mercy's, and Lucio's, so a lot of help, a lot of DPS can come out of them. Lucio uses his ult to defend this next push out of 425, our red team. We have a Winston goes bananas, but he just dies.
He also knocks Kenzie out of like a 5-man Deadeye.
Oh, that was pretty important. We have a Zarya ult on 425, brings them all together. Wasn't too much of a follow-up, so we still have enough people up to try and contend the point. We had a Lucio ult, unfortunately, only hitting 3 people. That kind of sucked. Zarya does get stunned. I mean, they're going in here. They take care of the McCree.
Actually, Zarya doesn't get stunned, and it's worth noting, like, her shield is one of the few things that can save people from things like that. You see,
I thought you got stunned before she popped her shield.
Oh, maybe I just looked at it wrong. But point is, like, that's one of the good things about fighting against McCree's when you've got a Zarya in your team. Save you from those stuns, save you from those annoyances.
Zarya brings in Winston, brings in someone else, and they both die. Beautiful, but there's the revive from Mercy. And SG-1's fighting, but they're pushed back, and they have a Winston behind them going bananas. He's just going crazy.
Yeah, once again. So actually, the tides have really turned here. We have SG-1 now having to get through their choke and having a tough time doing so. So looks like it's going to be evened up soon enough, like down 30%. obviously.
To make it there is Winston, and 425 is falling back. I love that Mercy's healing Winston. You have a tank with even extra tankiness. It is scary to deal with. And do we have any major changes on the sides? Looks like Zenyatta for 425 changed over to Lucio. Or it may have been actually a change over to McCree, I think. After
No, it was crazy. Trap layer.
maybe they're just trying to pick off people, as you said, to sign it kind of a semi-support sign, if that even is a role.
That's what I always classify it as, right? All right, so we have 425 having their choke basically broken. SG-1 did a really nice job there. They are going to take control of that point once again, but not before it was pretty evened up.
I just gotta throw this out there. When Zarya died, her corpse was on fire, and it stayed on fire. Like, it just stayed about 5 to 10 seconds.
Gonna zoom in the play-by-play.
Well, if you get charged up too, that glow stays forever.
Yeah. Oh, man, a whole bunch of Lucio ults are thrown out. Both Winstons run on top of each other, and it is chaos. The lines of each team are melded, and we'll see really how they do. This is when players can shine. How good are you in a situation where you gotta shoot well and you gotta react fast?
Now the Mercy ult is still ready for there we are for 425. But unfortunately, even after the ult, 3 of them still go down. We're to just be 1 of SG-1. It's still contending on that point, but oh wait, oh no one was actually touching it.
Anik realized a little too late too. Like he started going for it the second it clicked. Like, oh my god, we're at 99%.
Oh, man. What was great about that is right after it goes to 100, it switches back to 0. So I looked up in the middle and was like, 0% to 0%? Are you kidding me?
How did this happen?
What are you guys doing?
That won't be the only time you'll see that, because a lot of, like, when it comes to the better players at Overwatch, it's not about staying on that point. Like, if you play a casual game of Overwatch yourself, you're going to be with teams that they literally just stay on the point, you know? Like, and that's just where they're going to be. But, you know, we see time and time again when we watch these pros that it's about finding the chokes beyond the point. So sometimes you forget that, after you touch it, you're going overtime.
And it's a little bit hard on this map, but you also have the other strategy of just kind of pulling back, having a reactionary net almost to catch your opponent, but definitely holding at choke points is what a lot of these pro teams are favoring at the moment. We'll see how that works right here. A room with a couple choke points within it and multiple sides. 425 at the moment as McCree's already on the left, and in the south side and on the north side you have the blue team, SG-1, and they just get destroyed, shut down, and then 425 just strays to the left into the control point.
Yep, and 425 will start climbing in that percent, but SG-1 is already back up and looking for a good point to break in here. Oh, they're actually getting pushed back though. Oh, we have a Roadhog now. Ooh, speaking of team mix-up, that's like kind of the first time.
And that is Mafu, the person we've traditionally been seeing do Winston, and he's pulled so many clutch moves out of the bag. I'm excited to see what hooks. If you guys don't know, Roadhog kind of has like a MOBA-esque hook where you can hook a player and put them into you.
Well, I wanted to watch his view, and then he got pulled in by a Zarya and got destroyed, but there is the res from that Mercy.
So, unfortunately, since swapping, I've watched 3 hooks all get denied. 2 by Zarya shields and 1 by a stun.
Right?
So, this is why I personally really don't like Roadhog in competitive. I just feel like good players know how to shut down those hooks. It's easy to predict who he's grabbing, and I mean, 425's done a great job just shutting it down.
I agree, and the only nice thing I would say is that like he's a shotgun, right? So like close quarters, I think that makes a lot of sense. But he actually has very limited ammo, so like only 4 shots, and they're pretty slow compared to someone like Reaper with shotguns as well.
Right, goes from 1 to 2 shotguns.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an upgrade in general.
His ult is beautiful though. It's a gun, but not only does it damage his opponents, it knocks them back, so that's pretty good. But right now, 425, 67%, 68%, while SG-1 is desperately trying to even get a toehold into the control point. And looks like one Reaper will be able to. He's using the middle of it as a great block, but Deadeye from McCree on 425. Does he get a kill? Looks like he gets 1.
I just want to note he changed from, like I said, like an upgrade from 1 shotgun to 2. Changing into that Reaper means that they're lacking like that very obvious, shall we say, tank in the Winston and the, well, Reinhardt, which of course we haven't actually seen. But the same thing kind of happening for 425. Like everyone has changed away from Winston, which is providing that really like that nice little bubble barrier. In fact, we have now, I guess, instead of a big AoE barrier, we just have.
Oh, here we go. Nope, denied.
Yeah, I get all excited.
He had like 4 people, they all just scattered immediately. That's actually really good play by 425.
I love that. It's basically you're all playing normal, then you hear someone Deadeye, Deadeye, and everybody like scatters like roaches underneath.
Oh wow, this Reaper was like balls to the wall, man. First he was getting healed by Mercy, so I felt very confident, and then he was getting shielded by their Zarya Fraggy, and he just was going after.
By the way, I was gonna point out, I don't think I've ever heard anyone yell Deadeye, Deadeye, because everyone just goes with the characters say, right? Everyone's like, it's high noon, hi!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great point. I attempted to memorize all the names, so I just have all the names in my head, and I'm like, no one calls it Deadeye, you're right. It's more like, oh man, everybody just run.
Yeah, just run, scatter.
Scatter, yeah. Oh, Zarya ult left-hand side, Graviton Surge pulls everyone together, and beautiful! Lucio finishes 2 of them off, but Mercy, SG-1 uses Revive, brings them back, and right now 425 still has the point, but SG-1's trying to contest it. We have one Lucio who's been doing a wonder at it, but he's got to fall back, and SG-1 is pushed back, fall back, but remember, this all started off with 425 getting 60-ish%, and then SG-1 bringing it back 80%. So it has been a very back and forth.
Oh my god, that Reaper has an ult ready, and everyone was so enclosed in that space. He was a little delayed to do the ult because McCree stunned him, actually, so he could have gotten a much better one. There is the return Zarya ults.
We're pretty close right here. SG-1 is using, oh, by the way, SG-1 is using map architecture, the computers, the big thing in the middle of the room, so well as cover throughout this entire game. You have one Lucio and one Mercy, just doing amazing. Lucio, he's riding, climbing the building in the middle.
We actually have, I guess we can call them offensive tracers, so they're still technically in control of the point, but they did all get wiped, so they're using tracers to get back on it.
4 of them.
And push people off. Yeah, 4 of them. They don't want to lose it, but I do wonder about this decision, because they still have 5% to kind of fall back on, shall we say.
Right, in 425, let's not forget, they have to win this or they're out. So this is a lot of emphasis on the red team to actually win this game.
8, 9, we're on overtime. Who's
like the tracers aren't really going to be able to ever push off an entire team unless like some serious pulse bombs go down.
Well, there's one.
Oh, man, SG-1, there's one tracer. There's a second tracer, but the second tracer doesn't get onto it. The second tracer is so close, you can blink, and there's the blink in. We have another tracer trying to get in there, but Zombie Grubby said it perfectly. They run in, and then it's into a meat grinder, and they're just dissolved.
Oh, but these pulse bombs are actually getting kills. Fraggy just got a double kill.
Are they really going to do it? It's still pretty close. 3 down for both teams. Of course, the Tracer's going to get here a lot quicker. But then, of course, we can have the red team go for their own Tracers if it really does get that clutch.
Oh, this is amazing, man. Tracers have been doing a wonderful job. They're trying to get in there. I didn't think they'd be able to do it, but they're proving us wrong.
No pulse bomb. Oh.
Now, 5 Tracers and 1 Lucio. A little bit of extra health in there, but once the next respawn wave has came in for 425, looking strong.
This is where McCree really shines, by the way. The hardest thing about Tracer is her just hitting her. That stun, the concussive grenade, you kill her before she can blink. It's the most important aspect of that defense. So that McCree, was it Gun Rocks? I think it was. Got some really nice concussive grenades right there at the end.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in the ace match of the ace match, everyone. Like, whoever wins this actually just straight up wins and goes on to the next round.
Oh, and this is a perfect map to do it on. We have a nice, quaint, I think it's a shrine in the middle. I'm not sure. There's a building in the middle. There's a lake around it. It's a really cool map on the Jung Towers. Just to note, we're talking a little bit about the Mass Tracer, and recently we saw a very strong support Symmetra get nerfed, and the Tracers weren't as strong in the double McCree. The heavy McCree
to the mic, dude.
Heavy McCree style plays specifically been for killing Tracer.
Well, we have the final level, obviously, as well. We have not seen yet. This is probably like one of the most enclosed spaces. But everyone, of course, fighting outside of it on this little bridge here. It looks like 425 is doing a bad job. They already took down 1 member. Oh, there goes their Winston.
One thing I'm excited to see on this map too, Seda was doing a great job wall riding last time. You can wall ride this room in the middle infinitely. So once you get control of the point, if you've got a Lucio that knows what he's doing, you should never lose contestation.
Yeah. We do have 425 taking the point, like pretty convincingly as well. I think only Winston went down, and he's already back here. So now going to their opponent's bridge here. Now there's two ways into this map, and we can see that SG-1 just like that bridge is going in this way.
Oh, and we also looked like a high noon from McCree. I'm not sure if he actually gets any kills from that. Looks like he snipes his opponents, McCree. But there's the Zari ult, a huge
No follow-up, though.
And there's the Mercy off the back of that to actually help 425 both Mercies, and this is a continual gigantic team fight.
Yeah, another Zari ult goes down. Doesn't actually catch that many people though. Okay, at the end it did. But again, no follow-up really. It's not those mass deaths that we would like to see. The teams would like to see. It's like 425 still going to be in control though. All 6 members up, doing a good job. They've got this.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to be able to get into this room because you have windows, you have the large doors on each side, so it's very easy. But yeah, 425 is doing a phenomenal job. They transfer, they kind of switch around. When one person's weak at the front, they fall back to the backside of that building because they have the pole in the middle, and it's really helping them a lot. But now, this may be a downfall for them. They're getting a little bit gutsy coming in this left-hand side, pushing across the bridge, and they want to be very careful not to get overwhelmed in their fallback position. That control point is cut off.
Yeah. Oh, McCree's coming down everywhere. Looks like that one was denied, unfortunately.
Both are denied.
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty
hardcore.
Mercy these her ults, and it's still 425 with like the momentum here. They're still rising in that percent, and they now got the other team on that bridge. They can carry the choke, and the Mercy ult goes down. The Lucio as well catches most of his team members.
Oh man, Winston ults from 425. He runs in onto that control point to delay SG-1.
Okay, we lost Draenok, I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Gunrox uses his ult and only gets one. He gets the other McCree, that is. Zarya ult's going down left and right. And it looks like maybe, just maybe, SG-1 can do this. They can bring it back. No,
overtime's ticking. Oh, the Mercy gets in there just in time, flying to his soul. Gives time for Winston to get on the point too, but it's still ticking, and there's no 6 Tracers coming out of this team.
There isn't. I think they might just be giving up here. I don't see anyone else. Lucio tries to dart in, but he can only last so long. He's got a wall ride for his life here. That's not going to happen.
Well, both get picked, and that might just be overtime ticking down. Double aces. One pair, GG.
And that's 425 taking the win. Now, I want to note, while it's not the most impressive score right now, obviously it's still in beta, that SG-1 is actually the favored of these two teams. So going to that ace match definitely makes a lot of sense. I mean, congratulations to 425 for taking it in the end. Going on to face Reunited.
One of the things that was really cool was seeing the Mercies. It was almost synchronous in every game. When there was one res, there was another one that followed up immediately. And it was almost like a game of chicken. Like whoever to burn their res first was going to be the hot seat.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like Tracer battles. I don't know if any of you play
there's 2
Tracer.
of me now.
Oh, hello, Chu. But if you play Tracer, basically, if you go into Tracer versus Tracer fight, whoever rewinds first, like, loses almost all the time. So,
yeah,
Merc holds first loses.
Well, GG's to 425, advancing on. Let me just get the brackets up, because next one's going to be versus Reunited, who, again, we got to see last time, which was kind of cool. I got to reset the scores and all this good stuff. So we're going to go to our break. We're going to try and get a hold of Draenok again. So we had this happen last week. Kind of a bit concerning going forward, because he keeps disconnecting off of things, guys. And luckily, unlike StarCraft, right, when you disconnect, it doesn't pause the game and it doesn't ruin it or anything like that. But it does suck losing a dear friend. So we're going to try and figure out if we can get him back when we get this next series set up. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with Reunited versus 425. You guys just won that series when we return.